We ready? Yes. Oh my goodness. It's my daddy's birthday. Big shouts out to him. Well, I'm a 17 nigga, got that out of grow. In me, it ain't coming to me, so I gotta go get it. You ain't fucking with me, I got the hottest flow. Nigga, it ain't nothing to see because I'm not in your vision. Oh, well, I'ma get fed up one day. Put a letter up in the cake, come and hit it where you stay. So, baby mama, better get up out the way, cause the bullet got no heart and the trigger man crazy. Little man, if a bigger man jumps through, and I'm in the hood with the pump in the trunk. But if you ain't in them cups or on them benches, I'ma park the fucking truck and knock your dough off the hinges. Yes, Wheezy baby, flow off the hinges, so off the tempo, no pad or pencil. Well, let me go back to where men go. Throwback 22, throwback 22's bitch. Big shouts out to Lil Wayne, y'all. Lil Wayne is just announced a tour this morning on my daddy's birthday. Oh my gosh. So big shouts out to Wayne. God bless him. We, as always, are wishing Wayne all the very best in every single thing that he set out to do. Lil Wayne just went and took him a little break, shutting down his tour, the Carter tour. What was it? The Carter 6 tour. This right here is 20 years of the Carter, I believe, this tour that's coming up. But the last tour that we were on, I don't even remember. I thought about when I was getting dressed to come today. I was like, I felt like Mama Rose on The Temptations when Otis and Melvin, well, Otis had came over there and came to come eat. And he was like, oh, Mama Rose, who's coming over? Where is all this food? And she said, oh, I just was in the kitchen. I started thinking about Eddie and I started thinking about Paul. That boy loved my cornbread, and before I knew it, I just had cooked all this food. So y'all, I don't know where the hell I'm going when I leave here, or if I'm going anywhere but to bed. But I was feeling all concerty because Lil Wayne is finna get in the streets, and I don't even think that the tour kicks off until like May. But ever since the time done did the spring forward, it seemed like that this shit is moving extra fast anyway. So big shouts out to everybody moving around in these streets, still taking care of your business. Like I said, we're always wishing Lil Wayne all the very best. I was thinking to myself, I was like, every time Wayne announced a tour, I'm just always so ecstatic. I feel like I'm finna go on tour because I'm finna get ready to go see some places that I ain't never like seen before and all that kind of stuff, like depending on where the good Lord bless that I'm able to go. And so I was so excited. I was like, every time a tour is announced, I'm always like, Wayne is going to be so proud of me this time because I'm not finna be doing all that hollering and screaming. He gonna just see me looking just classy and quiet. You know, I'm not gonna lose it when he hit the stage, and as soon as he hit the stage, I'll be like, ah! Ridiculous. Okay, get somewhere and sit down. But y'all, it is so natural because if I tell you I be trying my damnness not to be loud, but unless another bitch next to me starts singing, bitch, you are not finna out sing me, bitch. I'ma sing louder, okay? Like damn, Celie was when Suge Gabriel went to that church and that girl was in the choir and she thought she was singing and she was like, damn, baby, Suge was singing without a microphone coming up the street, okay? That's how I be on them hoes when they try to sing Wayne at the concert. Do not sit next to me if you think you finna out sing me. You gotta dance, but you can't sing, not my songs. There's some songs you can sing, but they're not my songs, and you know which songs are mine. So just back the fuck up, okay? But anyway, shout out to everybody, out to all the people that are going to be buying tickets to go to the show. I'm so excited. I did not have time today because y'all, Tuesday, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to give myself another day off. Okay. Shout out to, all the awesome things that I did complete today. But today started out with my dad. Happy birthday to my awesome dad. Man, shout out to him. We had an awesome conversation this morning. He said he had already received a package. Well, he went out to breakfast when I called. He was in a good mood, so that was a blessing. Shout out to my dad and his friends and the family that he has built, being way up north, going up there and retiring from the steel mill. Shout out to him because my dad, I was telling him today, we were talking and I told him we were talking about casinos, and my dad has always been like, his shit gonna hit every time. Shout out to him. And he born on St. Patrick's Day, like the day of luck and fortune, y'all. Like if you can see the money on the bottom of my shirt, this the green, okay? I love this Lil Wayne t-shirt. I wanted to cut it up, but my son said, Mama, you already done cut up shirts before. Don't cut this one up. So anyway, shout out to my awesome son. But my dad, like I said, oh man, I was talking to him this morning. He was in good spirits when I called. He was having breakfast with his friends, but I don't know, my dad was flexing a little bit. So I was like, I'm gonna let you go and go and enjoy your friends. Yeah, sweetheart. I said, I bet he was sitting up there saying like, you niggas see my daughter and call me, okay, talking to me on my birthday. But anyway, he was hanging out with his friends. They went out for breakfast. They went to have coffee, and then he went home and was receiving his gifts. So shout out to Instacart, y'all, because anyway, shout out to Instacart. Instacart was so amazing because I have been so busy lately, thank God, and my schedule has kind of been a little bit out of whack, as well as me being out of whack. So with that being said, if you want to contribute to my program, it's $ Miss Mecca's Take at Cash App. Maybe I'll have another day that I'll be able to just kind of rest, because I kind of cram everything into Tuesday, and I need to get to a point to where when somebody says, are you available? I don't need to just say I'm available because I don't have anything else on the camera. I'm going to have to incorporate giving myself a little bit more rest, because Tuesday is my laundry day. Tuesday is also the day that I just got a lot of shit on Tuesday that I try to cram into Tuesday. So I'm grateful that everything went well. Everything that I set out to do today went smooth, but this weekend was crammed crazy. So I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for my dad, for him having a good time and then going home and opening up his gifts. And we were talking about casinos, and I said, Dad, I didn't get that part. Like, I don't really be doing no gambling, because the last time I went to a casino, I didn't even gamble. My daddy was like, you got that shit honest. I was like, if I know you're not fucking with me, I'm not fucking with you. So why would I just want to keep throwing money at the casino and it's not giving me no money back? Like, I done been over people's house, like WinStar. That's the name of the casino I was trying to think about in Oklahoma last week. But WinStar, I done been over people's house, and I done seen that WinStar send shit in the mail. Like, I done read, not at my house, but at other people's house. I don't know if I got a membership or not. Maybe that's the reason why. But I done been over people's house, they go to WinStar, and them people had coupons on the table talking about a free night, free dinner, free this, free that. So with that being said, I just feel like WinStar need to send me some shit before I go back. I told my daddy, I'm not going back. I left $350 with you. If you can't send me a free night, a room, or something like that, then I'm not going to be fooling with you. And I haven't missed them. It's supposed to be the biggest casino in the world. And shout out to all the people in Dallas that are trying to bring casinos to Dallas. I don't know if I want a casino in Dallas. Like, I like the fact of leaving from Dallas. Dallas to me is like, in my opinion, everybody had their own experience, but to me, especially into comparison to, thank God, all the wonderful places I've been blessed to be able to visit, to me, Dallas is like a clean, crisp, freshly laundered and pressed white sheets. To me, that's what Dallas is. So, like, if you ever had any clean, crisp, pressed cotton white sheets, brand new, hopefully you got enough respect for them sheets to wash your ass before you get in them. And the same thing with Dallas. Dallas is clean. We got some dirt going on, because we need the dirt to thrive. Nobody is thriving without dirt. That's why I'm tripping off all these people who trying to make it seem, oh my God, everything around this shit is criminal. Every single day, every single one of us break the law. So why everybody want to act like Sister Mary? But I heard somebody say something the other day. They said, well, you're going to have a different reaction to something depending on if you like the person or not, or if if it's something that you're in agreement with. Sometimes people figure out a way to make it work. And that's the reason why I'm always by myself, because not me. I'm not going to do that. I'm not fencing to be. I believe God when he said, you don't know the day nor the hour. And, when it comes to smoking weed or having a drink, I pray that when Jesus comes, that's exactly what I'm doing, because I don't know how the process finna go. I want to be able to relax. And I feel like that's the reason why he put it here, for us to be able to relax. It just wasn't supposed to be. See, I think the problem that people have with like alcohol and like weed or whatever, I'm not really on about, I don't understand, and thank God I've never been a part of the pill game, but I also don't trust anything that's man-made. Like, why would you go to a man-made something when there's something already naturally here? So with that being said, I think that a lot of things that were intended, God gave us lots of plants and herbs and even weeds, because everything has a purpose. So he gave us all this kinds of stuff to be able to heal us. And I think that people need to probably, consider that before any kind of pill for anything, because I'm going to tell you, so every time I go for my annual checkup, thank God to this day, my dad let me know today that he is 71 years old. I thought he was 70. My dad looked damn good for his age. Big shouts out to him for taking care of himself and walking every day and just doing the very best that he can to, preserve his health. Because I think that truly a lot of it is about us not really wanting to let go of that control. However, a big part of people, I think, just sustaining themselves and taking care of themselves and actually essentially having a longer life. I think that that's just a decision that you make, a decision you make with your mind that that's what you're going to do. You're going to take care of yourself the very best that you can, and you're willing to make those sacrifices. For me, I need to do better. I got ready to put this skirt on, and I was like, girl, this was one of the options that I had for my birthday. And I was like, when I put this skirt on my birthday, I felt like that it was a little bit too big. I was like, that's the reason why I didn't wear it, because I was like, I want to be a little sexy on my birthday. This skirt right here not really giving sexy. So I didn't wear it. But when I got ready to put it on today, it was giving me a little bit of resistance. So, I don't know. I think the song is called Flex Up off the Carter 6. And shout out to the Carter 6, because from June the 6th, 2025, when that album dropped, and I got a chance to hear Lil Wayne say, Big Mama Lil Tunchi, dick fatter than her. Okay, I don't think I should have heard that, because I kind of gave myself the freedom. But baby, I'm not finna go gain no more weight. Okay, I'm finna slim myself back down and get back to where I'm comfortable, because I got a lot of nice clothes in my closet too, on a real serious note. Like, I got a lot of awesome clothes in my closet, and I want to be able to wear them. And I don't believe in like stretching out quality shit. Like, I'm grateful to God. I feel like that, what did I go do the other day that I felt like I got, like, not punished, but I feel like God just was like, girl, like, come on now. Oh, I got them on. Like that day when I was looking for my phone, talking to my sister. But anyway, I had the phone in my hand, but I usually use my headphones. Anyway, these earrings, I usually have a lot of success just going into a store like Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, anywhere. Like, I usually can walk into a place and walk up to something and it'd be just one of them there. And I always start with the clearance rack, but I can walk up to something in like a very high-end store and walk to the clearance rack and it'd be something right there. Like exactly what I needed, or at least something that I really liked. I might not have been what I needed for the moment, but there has been a lot of times that it happened right in the moment. in this particular case with these earrings, like I said, I've been so busy. I wanted to make sure that I had me some green earrings because I was going to wear this other shirt that said Lucky. I don't know why I didn't, but I did wear it when I was in New Orleans. I don't know. I like my Lil Wayne t-shirts. But anyway, so I was looking for something sparkly. So I went to this place. Oh my God, they sent me a damn email. I don't know what I got for this damn being on this text list, but I've paid my debt to society. I'm ending that shit because y'all texting me every day. I'm thinking I'm catching a bite, and it's y'all talking about y'all got some shit on sale. Thanks, but no thanks. I don't wait for something to be on sale before I go get it. You know what I'm saying? Me going to, going to the damn store when I want something. So not necessarily going just because it's something on sale. I'm not a shopaholic like that. But these earrings, when I put them on, they got a little sparkle to them. Like the shirt that I have that say Lucky that I wore when I was in New Orleans. And I'm going to wear that shirt again with these earrings. Maybe not on St. Patrick's Day, but it's the St. Patrick's Day vibe. And so I'm going to wear that again with these earrings once I get them fixed. But I didn't do what I usually do. I usually go to whatever store come to my mind, and then I walk in there and I can find some really nice shit for cheap. I went to Nordstrom's one time. I found these pants. They was so nice, and they was marked down to $7.34. Now, the regular price on the pants was $89 with some really nice black pants. But what happened was, I don't know if they still do this, but back then Nordstrom used to have this thing where they would take shit back after 90 days. But whenever they return it back to stock, they got to return it back to stock at the price, not at the price it was, because of course 90 days is out of season. So they got to put it on their, sell it for the price like if it had been in the store the whole time. So always remember that about Nordstrom. Go to their it's not called last call, but anyway, Nordstrom clearance rack have some nice shit, and they prices are unbelievable because I don't know, like I said, I haven't been in a while, but I would always go there because you can find some really nice stuff. These particular black pants, when I got to the register, the girl that was checking me out, she was like, "Where did you find these pants?" And I said, "They was in the back." And she said, "I'll buy them from you right now." I was like, "No." She was like, "For real, I'll give you $25. Just let me get these pants." I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I want the pants." And anyway, I love them. They awesome. I need to go get them from the cleaners because you almost got me. It's been the second week that I've been thinking about my damn pants. But anyway, I did have some things, that I wanted to touch on. It's 8/19. Big shouts out, like I said, to my daddy. Happy birthday to him. And shout out to Lil Wayne for going on tour. I'm just very, very excited about that. I was talking a little bit about Dallas and how sparkly and clean Dallas is. I was a little bit disappointed in Dallas with this last election and the things that I've heard people talk about. Everybody seems to be in an uproar. I guess, I don't know if people still talking about it or not, but everybody had seemed to be very, very for sure that, Jasmine, can I get $5 Crockett, was going to be in the state Senate. And I just want to tell people we were never in danger of Jasmine Crockett making it to the state Senate. We were never in danger of that. That, unfortunately, was just something where it was ran throughout the internet about a bunch of people who really don't know politics or understand politics, was applauding her, insulting our governor, and making fun of his handicap. Please. And for the people that were talking about, they were so excited to see her lead, and they were, shocked. I wasn't shocked at all. But I am shocked about the fact that people be putting so much stock into that when we have two strong sisters that are literally running shit in Dallas right now. So shout out to our Dallas city manager that you don't hear nobody talking about, Kimberly Beiser Tolbert. Okay, she was an interim city manager for a little while, and then she ended up getting the job, and she's the city manager. So shout out to her, a beautiful woman. And then also shout out to our new black district attorney who she succeeded over John Crusoe, who John Crusoe had been in the district attorney seat. So many times I just wanted to say, John Crusoe, if they done threaten you, just blink 3 times, okay? So somebody can come help you. And that's the danger I want to tell people in going along with bullshit. Because a person could literally be in danger. And because people are so ready. I was watching this movie the other night. I can't remember what it was called. But it was with Taraji P. Henson and Idris Elba. And I was thinking about how, Idris Elba had kidnapped Taraji P. Henson. I don't know. It looked like he came into her house first, but some kind of way they ended up getting in the car. So I think that this is what I thought about. What came to my mind when I was looking at that was, wow, that's the kind of shit that people are using to hurt people, to encamp, imprison, all kind of shit. Because when you put yourself out there and you will just believe, go along with, not investigate for yourself, not hold anyone accountable for anything, figure out ways to make shit that's wrong right, literally going against God, but then asking God to help you with the shit that you're doing to go against him. Like, he already put the rules out there about how he wanted stuff to go. So why would you ask him to help you go against him? But that's the type of stuff that I feel like that people are not paying attention to. And it's really kind of sad. But with all that being said, we do have a new district attorney. John Crusoe, like I said, was on that bullshit because he gonna sit up there and tell all of the judges in Dallas he wasn't gonna see no kind of cases in front of him for theft that was less than $700. So for all of my friends out there that work in retail that's been literally suffering through hell because these people walking up in the store, they fighting people, the police are not coming. They fighting the people working at Walgreens. They stealing shit out the store, taking whole shelves, just walking out the store, coming in there every single day, filling up the basket with what it is that they want. So when, Walgreens at the end of the quarter, when they do their profit and loss, guess what's going to happen? Now you got to pay $12.99 for some damn body wash. If you want to wash your face, have some nice lotion, and everybody just going with the flow like it's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how John Crusoe ended up being a district attorney. God bless him, but I'm glad that he's no longer in there. And shout out to our beautiful new district attorney, a black woman by the name of Amber Givens. I'm looking at this card because I definitely don't want to mispronounce her name. Shout out to her. John Crusoe raised over damn near $500,000. And I think that when these candidates get $500,000, or like Kamala Harris got $1 billion, all the damn near $1 million that Jasmine Crockett got, I feel like that if they really cared about the people that made those donations to them, they would figure out a way to pour back, like at least maybe not give everybody the money back, but you got $1 million from us and your ass lost. So guess what? Whatever community donated the most, you need to go back and see, because there's no way that you can donate to any type of political campaign. And Jasmine Crockett, another thing about her ass, I can't believe that y'all even took somebody serious that didn't even have a damn campaign manager. Like, how was she going to win without a campaign manager? That didn't even make sense. You're running for a seat that you've never held before, and you don't even have anybody who is managing your campaign. And then now this bodyguard that is in the news now, that it's interesting that all the people that were hollering Jasmine Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, Jasmine Crockett, it's motherfucking crickets when this damn bodyguard done came up and his ass, Michael, I want to say his, anyway, they don't even know what the nigga name was because he had a damn alias. He didn't, and they got tons of pictures of him right next to Jasmine Crockett. So he was working a business that wasn't even a real business, but he was using real police officers to operate as a liaison, like a contractor or a temporary agency, to put them in touch with businesses so that they could make money. And of course, he make a little bit of money, because you do know when you go through an agency, the agency, every time you make $1, they make the same dollar. So if you can figure out a way, if you are going out here and you are the product, then figure out a way to do that for yourself, because you can cut the middleman out And, I'm not finna lie to you, the tax part ain't no joke. But as far as your everyday living and you being able to be a better product to your clients, it's better if you're operating up under your own rules with the proper credentials, of course. But with that being said, develop relationships, because it don't make no sense. Shout out to all the people that's done, done the temp agencies and all of that kind of stuff. But, it's a lot of that 50-50 shit, and the same thing with Uber and all of them. Listen, man, it's some people out there that's doing their own stuff. And I'm not saying that to knock nobody hustle, but I am saying usury is something that God said not to do. So if you out here being a loan shark, if you taking more money, way more money than you giving even a little bit of value, that is against God anyway. So not to form a whatever you gonna build on your own because you trying to cut somebody else out the money. But if enough people get to the point to where they are willing to step outside of these circles that are cheating them and robbing them and create something on your own, if you truly have a heart for what you're doing. I'm not talking about the people that are just going to work. I'm talking about the people that are literally out here serving and care about what they're doing. If you have something like that going, I'm just going to impose on you to keep the game fair. Right? And the way we keep the game fair is by not allowing somebody else to piss on you and tell you that it's raining. Now, they say, and they haven't announced it, and the reason why I feel like they probably haven't announced it is because I heard Jasmine Crockett say one time, nobody is really talking about this, but I heard Jasmine Crockett say one time that Freddie Haynes was her pastor. Now, a lot of people call folks from other cities and states they pastor, and so maybe she was just saying honorary pastor when she was in Dallas, but there are some people, because I remember this when I was a member of the Potter's House, there were a lot of people that I met at the Potter's House that literally said they moved to Dallas because Bishop Jakes was their pastor. So I know that this happens and that people have a pastor in a city or a state that they don't live in, but I heard her say that Freddie Haynes was her pastor. Freddie Haynes, who now has dipped over into the political arena. I hear, I guess, what people think that they may want to do or not do. I believe that Freddie Haynes had gone and put, I think that he was like standing or interim CEO or some form of leader over the Rainbow Coalition after Jesse Jackson, took ill and wasn't available. Some kind of way he got to dealing with them. I don't really pay attention to a lot of these people because I like to hold people to what it is that I feel like that they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you need to be about what you're talking about. So for me personally, when I had some issues with a major corporation here in Dallas, I had clear-cut evidence they were doing a lot of things to me. I'm not saying 100%, and I also gave this in my deposition, 100% that it was because I was black, but I felt like they felt comfortable doing the shit that they was doing because I was black, because oftentimes black people are taken as people who don't know what the hell is going on. And a big part of that is because now even more, with the social media, with people sitting up there rah-rah-rahing about shit that's not telling you shit that it's going to do for you, haven't done anything for you, came to the hood, left $1 million richer, and still ain't did shit. Like, for me personally, if I'm going to do something for somebody, you don't have to do something for me first. If you want to reciprocate the love, you can. But if I have intentions on helping you, I don't need a title to do that. I'm just going to do it because that's what's in my heart, because I care. But you got all these people that's done collected a bunch of donations, and I don't care what anybody say. I had the opportunity to work for someone who was working for a Senate seat. I worked for Barbara Mallory Caraway, who is Dwayne Caraway's wife, and I worked as kind of like her campaign manager. I technically couldn't be called a campaign manager because I didn't have the training and all of that behind me, but I basically managed a lot of her fundraisers, a lot of her donation collections, and a lot of different things that she had going on. Just really trying to, just kind of being that person that's right there, that's scouting out, people that may be interested in getting the word out, and so forth and so on. So shout out to her for that awesome opportunity. But she was running for, I want to say it's the 56th District 50 something, but it was the seat that was held by Eddie Bernice Johnson. Rest in peace to her, to live and die in LA. God bless and rest her soul. God bless the dead, Eddie Bernice Johnson. But truth be told, it was me working in that particular campaign to find out that Eddie Bernice Johnson hadn't done anything. She had been one of the first black nurses at the VA. But outside of that and whatever political dealings she had working behind the scenes, she really didn't do anything. Like Lancaster Keys area and all of that kind of stuff, none of that stuff improved under her and all the years that she was there. So everybody sing her praises because she's black. But I'm telling this, and I hope people receive this in love. God know you black. So that's not going to fly with him. When he get to asking you about all of the stuff that you chose to go along with, you being black is not going to impress God. So with that being said, speaking of people who've been sitting in offices for years, Amber Givens, who, like I said, John Crusoe raised damn near $500,000. I think it was like $400,000 or some shit. And Amber Givens came to this bitch and raised $20,000 and beat him. And so what is the money really for? If this woman beat him with $20,000, man, what was that man? That man walked in there at barbershop when Ice Cube, he put 20 G's in Ice Cube hand on barbershop. Who was that? Another 20 G's, Janky Promoters. When Mike Epps went in the hood and he told that dude that he was going to be able to get G's to come to his after party, homeboy went in the house and went and got 20 G's. So I'm not knocking it at all, but people didn't even put anything to her. But I feel like a lot of people didn't put a lot into her because John Wally Price, who also been hiding in the cut, was supposed to be our man downtown. You ain't seen none of these people really connecting. So for all the Dallas people that were not supporting and came behind, or you didn't put up a congratulation post for Amber Givens, who's literally been a judge on the bench. They tried to cite her and knock her out with the whole, trying to make it seem like they want to have a case against her. I think she still have a case that's pending because they were saying that she had one of her clerks or somebody that works for her stand in for her for some video court. She says she didn't do it. That's the only thing that they have against her. She ran and won because as much as people want to holler that they don't care, all of these high prices and stuff like that, you could try to blame it on Trump or whatever, but what happens in your city, your town, your state is about 10 degrees down from Trump. And you need to be able to hold and should start holding those people accountable for what's going on in your city. So hopefully Amber Givens, who was also a criminal justice judge, she's seen a lot of these folks come before her and her judge in her courtroom, and she's handled their ass. So I don't know a whole lot about all of the outcome of her cases, but I do know that the people would rather see her there than John Crusoe, and I am with those people. I don't know what it was all about with him. God bless him. If there was something that wasn't, that was so far out of his control. But like I said, Amber Givens came through. She didn't raise but like $20,000. She won. And she, I believe that, we need a fresh start. We need somebody who's going to relook at this shit and say, listen, all of this turning our head to crime and trying to say, oh, that person was stealing because they in need. Hell, we all in need. But it's turning into a jungle out here. And it's not fair. It's not fair to people who have to be out in the open in these stores, and they have to be just, vulnerable to these people that's coming in here that are lawless and godless. But they got to be in the store so that we can buy and sell goods. Do people remember during the pandemic what it was like not to be able to go get your own groceries? If we keep supporting and turning our back and turning our head to people that's stealing and on a bunch of bullshit, that's where we're going to be. We're not even going to be able to go outside. Like, come on. So, like I said, shame on you if you posted I'm pissed about Jasmine Crockett not winning against another Democrat. And come on, y'all. Come on, let's, every time I done ever pulled up in front of a Mexican store or in front of Fuel City or Malone's or some shit like that, the motherfucking corn hit me in the face when I get out the door. It's time for you Negroes to smell the goddamn elote, okay? Mexicans ain't never been for you and ain't gonna never be for you. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Get their ass a couple of minutes and they'll show you. Bars. They don't give a fuck about you, baby. And it's not that you should turn around and go not give a fuck about them too, because that's not where you're supposed to be. But black people need to understand how superior you are. Because every time you show your ass in these streets and you be on some dumb shit, that's the same thing as God doing that. Like, God made man and woman in his image. That's why it's sad, sad, sad that a man would think that he's supposed to get on his knees and take another man inside of him, in his mouth, or anywhere in his body. It's sad. Because what you're doing in front of all the wicked things in this world is you are literally being physically God doing that. Because you are created in his image. And he created you to be a leader. And a lot of these men out here are they gone? I'm sorry. I mean, it's time to rattle the damn cage. Y'all are gone. You don't know how to love. You're insecure, and you really need to get to a point to where the solution is not climbing in the bed with another man. The solution is getting on your knees and asking God to help you, because that is why Jesus went to the cross, so you could still access him. And for all of these people, it's interesting because you hear people all the time, and people try to call themselves, with all of that Yeshua and Upadai or whatever. His name is Jesus. And the reason why his name is Jesus is because that's how you are supposed to address him. Like, when you go in a classroom, it's Miss So-and-so. All of our teachers had a first name, but we didn't call them a first name. When you see your boss, I know a lot of these people that are like CEOs and all of this stuff now, they're a little bit more casual with their crew. But for the most part, anything that has ever been successful had a level of order and, that order and it keeps you in the right perspective. None of my kids' friends, none of my nieces, nephews, or anybody who is young enough to be my damn child never have and never better call me by my first name. You can call me Aunt Mecca. You can call me Miss Mecca. A lot of my kids, friends, they called me Miss Mecca. My nieces and nephews, Aunt Mecca. All of my friends or people that I've been cool with down through the years, they friends, it's Aunt Mecca. My cousins, second, third down the line, is Aunt Mecca. And the reason why you're going to put that Aunt Mecca on there is because you don't need to start thinking that you equal with me. That's going to get you in trouble. You need to understand the order. I am one of the matriarchs in the family, as far as I'm my grandmother's oldest grandchild. So there's a whole bunch of people up under me. And at one point in time, if nature flow the way it's supposed to flow, I will be the oldest woman in the family. It's going to come when a lot of my people that are up under me are still alive, because my mom was the oldest girl and my dad was the oldest child. And then my grandparents were also one of the oldest in their line. So I have been positioned that I'm going to be here, if the good Lord say the same, when a whole lot of folks is here. So if I'm sitting up here in a wheelchair, or God forbid I'm in a wheelchair, I hope and pray if I do decide it's just because I don't feel like walking, not because I can't walk, in Jesus' name. But with that being said, if I'm ever in a position where I'm sitting there like one of the elders and I can't get in the mix, all that Mecca shit is not going to get you where you need to be. You need to have addressed me as your elder, because my granny said anything you practice, you're going to perfect. So yes, there may be a name that is translated for Jesus, but when y'all started with all that Yeshua and all that kind of stuff, you got comfortable with him. You got common with him. And that's where you lost him. Because even though he is your best friend, and even though he might know your heart, he is still ruler, king, overall. Just because he'll come down there and kick it with you don't mean you on his level. And that's where you will miss the humility that you need to get any action about what you say you believe. It's not orderly even. Like I said, even me, I just shouted out these sisters. But if it's going to be somebody, if I'm going to post about something, if I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to celebrate the people that won. Not be mad about the people that lost. And a lot of these people that are sitting up here was acting like they was all big fans of Jasmine Crockett. They really need to check themselves, because you got a little bit of hate in you, because that's all she made you feel comfortable doing. Talking crazy to white folks and all of that kind of stuff, and talking about how horrible Trump is and how horrible Governor Abbott is and all of that kind of stuff. But like I have always said, and I will continue to say, if you feel like somewhere is better, if you feel like Texas is not the place for you, then just go where you feel like it's better. That's one of the blessed freedoms that we have in this country. We can go wherever we want to go. Look at what Tiffany Henyard did, talking about sisters. Tiffany Henyard said, you got me fucked up. They was turned on her ass in Dalton County in Illinois. She was the mayor. They was talking about she was the city girl mayor. But shout out to Tiffany Henyard. You know what I'm saying? Because she in Atlanta now. Now she said she's a Republican. And not only is she a Republican, but she's running to be like the district city. I don't forgot what Tiffany Henyard is running for, but she's running for something in form of city council or something like that, high up in the city of Atlanta. And baby, she did not, in the city of Atlanta, maybe Georgia. Forgive me if I don't know. I'm trying to keep up with Texas, but y'all know if you know. Tiffany Henyard, she was the person that they ran out of Illinois, Dalton County, who was the mayor and also the city supervisor. Then people got in their town hall meeting and was telling her, pulling all them records and stuff, where she literally had the police officers, they was her personal bodyguards. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's funny, because Tiffany Henyard got up there. I just seen a recent interview of her when they were asking her about her going to Atlanta. Baby, she done already found somebody in Atlanta, because when she was out there in Dalton County, her hair used to be like looking a little puffy. But baby, she's in Atlanta now, and she got that hair fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Okay, makeup popping. And she was like, you know what? The Democrats ain't shit. She is the only person, and guess what? She went to the city of Atlanta, and she don't have nobody running against her, because everybody's a Democrat. So all the people that's got competition for the position that Tiffany Henyard trying to run for, now they're saying that she hasn't been in Atlanta in what do they call it? Come on, Mecca. What is it? It's not I didn't say Dalton County, but oh shit, it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, they say that she might not meet the residency requirements, because before you run for office in a particular city or district or state or whatever her position is, you have to have lived there for a certain amount of years. And I think at the time of the election, she gonna be just now done made it to a year. But they might go ahead and just let that shit slide through, because like I said, she don't even have anybody running against her. Now when she gets the actual election, she'll be going against a Democrat. But as far as her getting the primary, where they go against somebody else that's like James Tallarico was with Jasmine Crockett, then you go on to go up against somebody in the opposite party. So right now, Tiffany Henyard don't have anybody. They would have nobody in the Republican seat if she didn't do it. So I think that for that reason, she might get a pass. But Fulton County, anyway, because I just got a flash of Fonnie Willis in my head. But anyway, she went to the place that's on the shit that she's on. Okay, Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia. It's a bunch of bullshit going on out there. And Tiffany Henyard, you know what I'm saying? Hey, everybody is doing some criminal shit. So if you're going to do it, I'd rather for you to come out and be real about it than try to pretend like that you are so righteous that you care, but then you get $1 million and we ain't seen your ass. You ain't came and threw a picnic in the park, nothing. It's spring break. This will be the awesome time to get out in communities and tell people thank you for the money that you raised. A lot of people having a hard time. You ain't even said, you know what, let me go just throw, 50 G's in the black neighborhood and make sure that these kids that's on free lunch got something to eat for spring break, because some of these kids don't have no food. Spring break already come in the middle of the month. A lot of people that get stamps at the first of the month. And I'm not knocking nobody or saying I'm encouraging somebody to do this, but a lot of times by the time the middle of the month, it ain't no more stamps. because what you didn't buy with the groceries, your ass done had to sell to probably help pay the light bill. The shit is all fucked up out here. But the shit that got people all riled up is not the shit that makes a real difference. And the shit that makes a real difference don't have nobody riled up. And that's the problem I got with the shit. Speaking of people that's on some bullshit in Atlanta, before I get up off of that, Jamal Bryant. Baby, they done cussed this man up one side and down the other. But I'm glad I segue to that, because that is the absolute example of what I was telling you about when I was saying that y'all need to quit trying to dig for another way to impress the devil by not calling Jesus by his name. And I'm talking about the name you supposed to call him. Like when I walk in my daddy's house, or my daddy walk in my house, or I'm talking to him, even when it was just me and him there, I still don't start calling him by his first name. I don't call my mama by her first name. And I didn't even live with my parents my entire childhood. But I thank God for people that, even though they didn't tell me exactly why they were encouraging me to do this, they had me handle things in order, because now order is easy. Y'all want to let these kids run around and have no order and then expect for them to go out into the world and out into the workplace and act orderly. How? So with that being said, Jamal Bryant, this is what happens. Take a look, folks. This is what happens when you get common. Because you know what? I done known a lot of preachers down through the years. My grandparents were members of one of the most prominent black churches in Dallas, with all the people with fur coats and Lincoln Continentals and Cadillacs. There's a lot of money going through that church, and the church is still standing today. But what I do know was that our pastor, Reverend Johnson, a lot of men out here think they're alpha man, and I don't even know if you ever seen one, because if you had ever seen one, ain't nowhere in the world you would get yourself confused with one. M.E. Johnson Sr. was a man, and nobody wouldn't dare talk to him like y'all out here talking to Jamal Bryant. But see, Jamal Bryant, you wanted to be friends with the community. You wanted to tell him, if you want to have sex with the same sex, when, hey, that's what you want to do. If you want to, you came, went in that church after Eddie Long, knowing the allegations that was on Eddie Long, and then you still didn't humble yourself. And then you brought your wife out here in a half-naked dress. You're going to present her. Your daddy is the king. You're going to present her. James Earl Jones didn't play that shit in Coming to America. But you want to do it with God? And parade her around with this little see-through dress on in God's face, and then get on there and boldly and proudly say, I bought the dress and da-da-da-da-da. You see what that commonplace got for you, right? You talking about you called off the boycott. I don't know if this was AI, but I seen a picture of the nigga with a whole Target jacket on. Now, I don't know if it was real. But this is the thing. I honestly, for the people that really be paying attention, and that's another thing that kind of scared me about this world. You know, people are not paying attention. My son's father used to be security for the Potter's House years ago. And he told me that on the ground, just on the ground, not the balcony, not the overflow, just on the ground at this particular time when he was doing security for them, that the ground floor of the Potter's House held 3,500 people. So you can only imagine how many people are in the room when all of that shit is filled up, like all of the overflow, all the balconies and all that. And me and my kids, we used to go to the Potter's House religiously every Sunday. Shout out to Bishop T.D. Jakes. I don't know what's all going on with him, but I can't deny what I heard and what I felt. Sometimes people get out of their side of themselves because people are still human. They get howdy. That's what Jesus was talking about when Jesus said, you know, it's easier. What did it say? It will be easier for a camel to get through the hole of a needle than it will be for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. And a lot of people stop it at that. And I think that's where a lot of people got their mind mixed up. Like Jesus was saying we were supposed to be poor. But if you keep on reading it for yourself, it's not a bedtime story. You need to go read it for yourself. When a pastor pull out something at the church and give you a scripture for those people that are attending church, When the pastor give you a scripture, don't just read that one scripture and then close the book and allow him to talk about it. Go back and read it for yourself and make sure that what you feel and what you think after you read the whole thing, you align with his teaching on it. And you can either do one or two things. You can either speak to him about it and ask him to help you understand it more, or you can choose not to be a part of that organization if the person was way off base. Because there are a lot of people out here that they just got a platform. That doesn't mean that they are telling the truth, even though they have a lot of people that still want to subscribe. So with that being said, after Jesus talked about it being too hard for a rich man to get through the eye of a camel. I mean, it'll be easier to get through a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it would be for a rich man to enter the kingdom. The disciple that he was talking to at the time asked him right after that. He said, well, then how can anybody be saved? And then Jesus turned around and said, with man, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So I feel like what Jesus was saying, in essence, this is how I perceived it when I read it, was that Jesus was saying it's hard, but it's possible. But you can't get beside yourself. Because as soon as you get beside yourself, then that's when he's going to have to, especially if you're leading other people. He said he beseech you not to be teachers or preachers because you're going to be judged more heavily. But there are some people that have already decided they're going to hell and they don't care who they take with them. Look at what Jim Jones did with Jonestown, with all of them people. So with that being said, be careful where you would decide to allow yourself to be fed. Do the research for yourself and make sure that shit makes sense to you. Because you're going to be standing up there in a storm with an umbrella with a hole in it just because you sat up there and lied to yourself and lied to other people because you didn't want to take the time to get up off of social media and go do some research for yourself. Then you'll be able. The Bible even talks about this. Be prepared to give an answer for what it is that you say you believe. So if you believe something, even if you got to stand by yourself, you should know that it's better to stand for it than to be a part of a crowd that can't save you. Better yet, will abandon you if they need to save themselves. Because telling you some shit that ain't right and taking your money knowing that you're already struggling and ain't doing nothing to help you stop struggling, what is it for? Except for the fact that you need to nurse and stomp out that hate that's in your heart. Because hate being in your heart, jealousy, envy, insecurity, that's the only thing that's going to make you feel like that you cool with going along with some shit that ain't right. Some shit that don't make sense. How are people the same people that don't want nobody at the school whipping their child, but want to vote for a party to say that the school can call your boy a girl and set them up to be changed and you can't do nothing about it? How is it you don't want somebody to whoop your child? You're going to act a damn fool and turn the school upside down if they touch your child. But you want to support some people with your money that God put you in a position to be able to make, that say if your little boy say that he want to be a little girl, they gonna help him do it. And if you try to do anything about it, they gonna put your ass in jail. Make it make sense and tell me what kind of God would be down with that. What was I going to talk about? Tiffany here. Oh yeah. There was a man, and I just want to say this. There was a man, and I encourage people to go and look this man up in your spare time if you really care. If you don't really care, I ain't talking to you anyway because you on bullshit, been on bullshit, and gonna be on bullshit, and I ain't got time to talk to you. I'm just glad that hopefully we don't end up in the same place in eternity. And that's just how I feel about that. But there was a man that I've been really doing a lot of studying about lately as I've been thinking about all of this political stuff that's been going on. And his name is Adam Clayton Powell, a civil rights leader that was in New York and in Harlem, prior to Martin Luther King. Did a whole lot of things that we celebrate Martin Luther King for, that before Martin Luther King did it. Interestingly, one of the things that comes to mind that he did, they did a boycott, a bus boycott as well in Harlem in the 50s before Martin Luther King and them did it. And not only did he get the shit straight as far as where they could sit on the bus, but he also had them make the people mechanics and also was responsible for some of the first black bus drivers. He talked Cash Money shit because his family, he did whatever the hell he wanted to do. His family had a whole lot of money. One of the first prominent mega churches in the United States of America was his dad's church, Adam Clayton Powell Sr. I have to keep looking at his name too because it seemed like he got 3 damn last names or first names or something, so I don't want to mix them up. But his dad, interestingly, had a congregation of over 11,000 people for his church, Abyssinia or something like that. Calvin Butts ended up being the pastor there later on. But anyway, Shirley Chisholm sang his praises. A lot of people sang his praises because he got a lot of stuff done. He got to the point to where he was light, bright, and could pass for white. As a matter of fact, he did pass for white when he ended up going to school because he was acting such a damn fool in Harlem. His daddy and them sent him to an all-boys school. And when he went to that school, I think the school might have been in California, I'm not really sure, but it was the Colgate Academy, predominantly white, and he was able to pass for white. And so he passed for white for a long time, but when he got to the point where he was going to lead, the people and help the people, he didn't just call it an act. He did some shit. He made some differences. Towards the ends of his career, they brought Martin Luther King Jr. in and they put Martin Luther King Jr. in front of people. And I truly believe from the things that I've been seeing that the reason why they did not want Adam Clayton Powell to be the man in power is for the same reason why people hate on the great people today. Shout out to Lil Wayne, who ain't responding to now bullshit that y'all was saying. Just kicked his feet up. We seen Lil Wayne all up in the rainforest and wherever he was, taking beautiful vacations after that last tour. And now his answer to all of that bullshit is, I'm going on tour. And for all the people that was all in the comments looking stupid, talking about, we don't know these cities. Lil Wayne is saying to us, he don't fuck with the black people. Why he not coming here? Why he not coming there? I don't know because I wasn't anywhere around, but I listen to Lil Wayne music every day. And if I had to say, I'm not a gambling woman. I told y'all I'm a bad gambler. But if I had to put money on it, on how this shit went down for all of the people that's looking stupid, Lil Wayne has a particular specific fee that it costs for him to get on stage. So with that being said, if the people that he chose to book with were willing to pay his rate, then either you need to either go there, you can meet some new people, find out about some shit. When I went to Homedale, New Jersey, on my birthday last year, I had never been there before, didn't even know that place existed. He don't have to come to your motherfucking town, okay? He went to the people that booked him and that were willing to pay his price. I'm pretty sure he thought, well, let me go on tour. Okay, well, let me see if my assistant can get some dates booked. My assistant or my manager or whoever booked for him can get me some dates booked. And I don't want to do the shit if it's not this many dates. And I don't want to do the shit unless they're willing to pay this. And those are the people that won the motherfucking bid. And that's just that on that. That's why he going where he going. If you ain't heard about it before, then bitch, and you care that much, then you go out there and see something new. These people that Lil Wayne did the last tour and went to some cities that I had never heard of before. He put them cities on the map, and he even got on there and said he didn't even know this shit existed. So open up your mind to some business shit and get up off the bullshit, okay? We talking more about Adam Clayton Powell next week because I want to talk to folks about why y'all feel like they don't teach about him. They don't tell the people about him. They tried to get rid of him, whitewash him. He didn't play that shit. He talked shit, smoked cigarettes. It looked like he was smoking a blunt and kept a drink in his hand, and he was a preacher. But he got shit done. And I think that just like people hate on people that are great today, people hated on him. And so they welcomed Martin Luther King Jr. in and for whatever he did or didn't do. And they were willing. And so always keep that in mind when you're doing whatever it is that you do. If you happen to fuck around and be too good at it, They will try to replace you with some bullshit. Shout out to Nicki Minaj. But as long as you hoes know, y'all had to take a whole motherfucking generation and dumb their ass down and dope them up, and they still don't know how to be loyal. I love y'all, man. This has been my time. I will see y'all, Lord willing. Happy birthday, Daddy. I love you, Lil Wayne. I love you, Dad. You know, not in any particular order, but I love both of y'all who are not here with me that are miles across the sea. And I will see you all, Lord willing, next week. Good night.